we had a victory parade, whole regimental victory parade in a Nazi soldiers' field. I've seen soldiers marching before in movies and whatnot, but this was me participating, and that was great.
I've always wanted to be what I am, an actor. But there was a period of time in my teens where I wanted to be a Marine and where I seriously considered having a military career.
I was a true hippie. I had long hair, I went to Love-Ins, I did all that stuff that everybody sees in movies. I can remember as early as in my childhood of watching President Eisenhower and thinking that he was full of shit.
Me, I had the only one, I don't know what is the name in English. They have the...
When I joined the Navy, the recruiter refilled out all my paperwork because he said, well, you can't put down that you smoked marijuana 60 times, and here I was thinking I was good. I didn't even put that I smoked crack on there. The funny story goes that I tried to actually join the Marines first, and I called the Marine recruiter and I said, you know, hey, I want to be a Marine. And he said, great, come on down. And I said, well, before I come down, I just want you to know a little about me. And I've got 3 felonies. And the Marine recruiter told me, he said, son, we make them crazy, we don't take them crazy. Try the Navy.
I was born and raised in Hawaii. The draft board refused to give me my welcoming committee presentation, so I just missed all the early part of the war.
I joined the military, I don't know if it's out of patriotism, it seemed the right thing to do. It was also, you know, all young men, I think, most young men, that's an exciting thing.
I said goodbye to my father, we hugged in the parking lot, and he was really upset. And I think that I was more upset because he was upset.
I was in military 24 months, and it can be 2 years.
I enlisted when I was 23 years old. I was living in San Francisco, and I was looking for another way to provide for my young family.
During the training period, we were informed or instructed to shoot and kill before you got killed.
Men, of course, love war. They do. It's exciting until you have your buddy blown up alongside you.
And they had a logbook, and someone had told me, you got to go check the logbook because your orders have changed. And I thought, oh really?
I'm working for that section. We put a mine. Do you know the mine? They put underground, and when the car or something go over that, the explosion.
The Navy in boot camp, we didn't even shoot real guns. They gave us lasers, man. Like an M16 laser. I mean, come on. Just before I got to boot camp, they had just stopped this thing where you could pull out a card if you felt that you were under too much stress from your drill sergeant. You could pull out this card and he would have to back off from you.
And when the plane took off, I looked outside and I saw the ground getting smaller. As I fell asleep, I remember that moment. It was like, shit, this is bad.
If some other country military is coming to your country, they want to know what do you do, what he do, what she do. Are you happy for that? Never. Everybody wants freedom for themselves. If you want to come my home, inside my house, and decide it for me, never, I am not happy for that.
When I went to Germany, the commanding officer of a company or regiment announced that we are diplomats in Germany, and so being a diplomat, you should behave and not be reckless. And if you don't know the culture, you're gonna get lost.
On the border of Iran, this sign, it's got the Ayatollah's picture on it, and he's saying, America can't do a damn thing. Written in English, huge fucking billboard. We got Iranian guys across the border dropping mortars on us. If we handled ourselves right, you know, we would be able to deal with Iran.
The military and that training and that beginning is it's testing yourself. And of course, war is, I suppose, the ultimate test.
And went overseas to Germany and served in a town called Flossenburg with the 105th Infantry Division, guarding the prisoners of war U.S. troops captured in Germany and were placed in this concentration camp where the Jewish originally occupied the facility.
And when we got there, the back end of the C-147 opened up and they herded us into this warehouse, and I had my orders and my guitar, and I backed up and I banged into this big wooden door, and I looked and there was a stencil on it, "Human Remains." There's all the dead guys that are getting ready to be shipped back in body bags.
A lot of my friends that died in front of me. When I finished my military, I went to apply for the job. I told them I was in the military 24 months. I was a good soldier. And you know what they asked me? Why you didn't die? You know, you have to go to paradise. You have to go to the God, you know.
And the first night I got there, I'll never forget this either. Here's a guy in his blues, we call him in the Navy, his dress uniform. And he's coming to the door, and I got my sea bag, and he's got his sea bag, and he's got his orders, and I have my orders. And I looked at him, and I came to, sort of, and I said, "Are you leaving?" He said, with this really very sympathetic look, he said, "Yeah, I am."
There were mounds of shoes, mounds of ashes, and one day I took a detail of German soldiers to the facility to clean the facility and to bury all the ashes and plant a tree. And first the soldiers were hesitant to do the work because they thought I was going to bury them in that hole they were digging.
When I got to Germany, we were addressed by our company commander and said our function in Germany was to absorb a first strike from the Russians. That is, we would be annihilated.
They had this warning system, and they would sound this huge siren. So you could hear the rockets go overhead. They would do that, and oftentimes the siren would go off, and we'd all run to the bunker, and then there wouldn't be a rocket attack. Well, we got used to it, but those of us who were conscious and who valued our lives enough, you ran to the bunker every time. And on one night, two guys just didn't want to get out of bed, and they took a direct hit, and they were gone.
Iraqi guys shoot me with a gun, and it's here. It's broken here. And I was so lucky, thanks God, they are not coming to my head.
I would walk into my hangar deck, and you could see in the hangar deck it was full of bombs. And I'm talking the hangar deck inside an aircraft carrier is 3 or 4 football fields. And within a 24-hour period of time, every one of those bombs would be gone. And then they would do it again.
Ultimately, you're not fighting for the cause or your country or anything. You're fighting for the guy next to you, the people that you train with.
I felt for the guys who were on the front lines, and I felt for the Marines. For 2 reasons. They were in that bad position, but also I knew they'd been brainwashed badly.
I seen combat outside of Fallujah, and we were down a little bit further south, and the call to prayer comes out. But it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, there's no call to prayer at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And the interpreter says, we need to go. The imam at the mosque is using the loudspeakers to call, the Americans are here, gather your guns and kill them.
I couldn't believe it, really, that people would just kill people, burn them all up. And
there's always conflict because of greed.
Is man basically hostile with occasional moments of peace, or is he peaceful with moments of warring qualities? Wow, that's quite a question.
I had probably 20-25 friends, best friends, when we sitting when we was there in the Ahwaz or Abadan, and we sitting together every night. We are talking why they happen, so why we should be here, and they kill each other for nothing.
We used to get toy drives going from back in the States, and we'd get toys and we'd give them to the kids, and we'd give them to the kids. And when I first got to Iraq, it was this really cool thing. It made me feel really good that we were giving it to these kids. By the time I left, We were throwing soccer balls at kids, driving by at 45 miles an hour, seeing who could beam the kid in the head the hardest. Compassion is killed.
After I got out of the military, my tolerance, I was mentally ill, I think, for a year. I had horrible nightmares for 6 years.
It's like everybody's existing, like nothing's going on. Like maybe in World War II you had to take the boat back and it took a month, you know, and you had that time to... We got guys coming out, like they're getting shot at one day and they're back to LA with traffic and McDonald's and drive-thrus. I'm driving down the road still like looking everywhere to see what piece of trash is gonna blow my legs off.
If that war is good, why all the political guys, they are not send those family to that? You know, that is very important. That this war is only for the middle class people or for the poor people. You know, it's not for the high class people. God say, no, you shouldn't go because you have too much money, you're so.
Well, would you recommend the military?
If you didn't have to go kill people...
Always we say, young guys should go to the military until they can be a good man.
I don't have any regrets being in the service. I really enjoyed it. And I recommend highly for young people. Of course, when there's a war, you have a chance of coming back or not coming back, but that's the chance you take.
Being in war takes something from you. It takes this decency. That fear rots in there somewhere, somehow. Even in I got it under control, I still have regressed myself 15 years in my personal development. But yet, I love it so.
We're just one of thousands of different people on this planet. And we're no better than anyone else.
In terms of tolerance and humanity, I think that's constant.
My tolerance has come from getting smarter and getting older. It's just made me just feel more deeply about how awful it all is.
Life is not only for me. I think God sent a piece of bread or something for everybody to share together.
Freedom. If you free people, there's no need to fight.
War happens and it's really tragic.